Well, it's Tuesday, and Tuesday is a day that we talk about our distillery tours. This one is taking us to Newport, Kentucky, and a little place that we actually ended up enjoying. Hello, my name is Wayne.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we are Your Bourbon Journey.
We're taking you to Newport, Kentucky and Pensive Distilling. This is November of 2023, and it's our 54th distillery to visit. Now, Pensive's pretty interesting. They were brand new when we got there. They hadn't been open very long. We were up in the area and thought, let's stop in and get a tour. But I was really pleasantly surprised with how great the tour was.
It was really fun. The tour itself, the place itself, we really liked.
Well, to start with, we ate.
Yes. They have a nice little bar, and they have a lot of really good food items. We ended up getting, I think, what was a pimento cheese type thing with chips, and that was really good. And I believe we had a couple drinks. I don't remember what we had. Do you remember?
I think I had an old fashioned and you had a Bloody Mary. We have been back subsequently just to eat there.
Yes.
Because the food was that good. And we were in Newport and we thought, well, let's stop in Pensive and see what they have going on.
So we decided to take the tour, which is the main reason why, of course, we came. And the tour ended up being fantastic.
Yeah.
There was a room they took us to that was at one time a speakeasy.
Like literally, not one for today, literally
Yes.
during Prohibition.
Yes, and there were bullet holes in the walls. And if I remember correctly, our tour guide mentioned, I think they found bullets, physical bullets, in the walls when they were cleaning up the place and preparing to turn it into what it is now. And we went in the room, they had a record player that was playing music. It was a cool vibe.
Another thing I recall from the tour, which I thought was really cool, is this is somewhat on a corner and the building kind of juts out. You can look up in the history books, the mob pretty much owned Newport, Kentucky at the time. And a lot of gangsters, we won't name them here, but a lot of gangsters, you hear about them on the tour, frequented there. And so the cops were always coming in to check them out. They had lookouts in these windows.
Yes.
They weren't bay windows, but they did jut out enough that you could see down the road this way and you could see down the road this way. And then they would signal everyone to put everything under cover, so to speak, if the cops were coming. So I thought that was, you could feel how that probably would have happened. And they had a lot of pictures that they had gotten from archives and such that were hanging on the wall that really demonstrated how accurate this really was. I thought that was really interesting.
It was really fantastic. Do you remember what we did after that, after we left the room?
I'm not sure what the order was. I can't recall. But we went to a connected building where they do their bottling operation.
Yes.
So they were distilling at the time. When you first walk into the restaurant, immediately to your right is their still. And it's very cool and it's operational and everything else. But obviously, when you start out new, you don't have your own distillate ready because it hasn't aged. But they have their own bottling operation. So when they do source something, they took us into that room where you could see all the barrels that were stacked up around there. It wasn't like a rick house or anything. It was just more like a big open room. And then they had a bottling line. And I can't recall if we did that before we went upstairs to the Speakeasy. Doesn't matter really. But we did it one way or the other. But as we were leaving the Speakeasy, I do recall that our guide took us out on this patio.
Yeah.
And it was open, and you could see clearly now, so to speak, of Newport. It was just a great spot, and they were talking about making that like an evening spot where they might make it a cocktail bar later. So we need to go check that out again because it has been over 2 years.
Yes. It was really nice. It was not a big tour, but as far as what we were expecting, we were extremely impressed. And like I said, I would go back, I'd do the same tour again. It was really terrific.
And one thing we didn't mention is that they're big racehorse fans. So you've got a lot of racehorse memorabilia all over the restaurant area. You might notice little dots that kind of sings to what a lot of the jockey outfits and uniforms might look like. But the 1944 Kentucky Derby Preakness Stakes winner was Pensive, and that's what this is named for. I didn't want to forget to say that because that's important where their name comes from. They have a lot of interesting displays about horse racing there too, and I almost forgot about that.
It was a fun tour. We had a really great tour guide. What's his name?
I think his name was Jeff Cole.
Jeff Cole. He did a really good job. We ended up wrapping up the tour, of course, doing a tasting. and we tasted 3 or 4 different things. And this is the bottle that we ended up deciding that we wanted to take home. And Rebecca will give you the specs of this bottle.
And it's pretty exciting because we actually had to find this bottle. We were going to do this recording, to be totally transparent. This was before Augusta. And we were going to do this a couple weeks ago, but we couldn't find the bottle because it had been moved around the room, and we found it today. So we were like, yes, we can do it now. So we had never opened it until today, but let's tell you a little bit about it. This is a Pensive Single Barrel Bourbon. It is a Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey. It is bottled by Pensive Distilling Company. It is made in Kentucky and it's undisclosed. It is non-age dated, but being a straight whiskey, it's at least 4 years old. The MSRP is $69. It was released in 2024. If you're into batch numbers, it's batch 10, bottle 4 for Pensive. And we did purchase it at the distillery that day in November for $69.
So it's been waiting a long time for us to open. And it was originally one place in the bourbon room, got, like she said, moved, couldn't find it, finally found it.
A pretty good nose on it.
It's a very floral nose.
Now, it is a single barrel, but it's not cast strength. It is 100 proof, so it has been proofed down a little bit.
I'm getting something very familiar on the nose.
Citrusy.
Citrus might be the call. I keep thinking corn, but I've got to be wrong on that. I do like the nose. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's very pleasant, and it's got some decent legs forming on it as well.
The nose is okay. Hopefully, if the flavor is as good or better, this is not a bad bottle. So let's go ahead and try this bottle of Pensive. Cheers.
Cheers. It's nutty and orange.
Yes. I'm not picking up the nuttiness. Maybe that's what I was getting on the nose.
It's nutty for me.
But there is citrus in it.
It's not peanutty.
No,
It's nutty.
I agree.
Like almond and oranges. It's just interesting. I'm not hating it. It's pretty interesting here.
It must be the power of suggestion, because now I do believe what I got on the nose is nuts. This is a very citrus forward bottle. If you like citrus, this is what you want.
Yeah, it's bright because I am getting some rye spice notes on it, but the citrus is calming that down a little bit because it is probably a high rye mash bill, we're guessing. So that citrus is tampering down a little bit, the rye spice, but I'm still getting it. So it's making it feel like there's some life and some kick in this bottle. Sometimes 100 proof, you don't quite get that going on, but I think the rye portion is really helping.
I would agree. Hey, let's try to pick up something in the back.
Yeah. Liking that nutty and citrus, I'm telling you. I feel like on the finish, I'm still getting some nice pops of citrus, but it's interspersed. I'm feeling like it's a little bit of white pepper popping with it, and that could be the rye spice for me.
I would agree it's pepper and orange. It's weird, and it's not a bad weird.
No, it's pleasant.
I like the fact that it's a unique flavor.
It's got some layers.
It's really a sneaky bottle.
It is, and it's probably a good thing we hadn't opened it.
Yeah.
We may have gone to this a couple times. So I'm excited that we do this on our channel. That gives us an opportunity to visit these bottles we forgot to open. We should call them the forgotten bottles. It doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes we're like, oh darn, we forgot about that bottle.
And then every once in a while you get a bottle where it's like, oh, I wish I had forgotten about it. So it doesn't happen a whole lot. So
yeah, this is good. I would recommend going to Pensive. It's probably not quite their distillate yet, but I did a little bit of research before we recorded this that they're starting to blend some of their stuff in with things they're sourcing. So we're going to start seeing some blends of that. A lot of times distillers select a company to work with and select barrels that match what they hope their profile will be or what their goal profile is. You don't want to shock your customers. Like they get used to drinking this and then you have your own stuff and it doesn't taste like this. We've talked to enough new distillers or new distilleries that have told us when they go to select single barrels to put their label on, they're looking for things that match a profile they're trying to achieve. They don't want to have this whiplash effect when people start getting their own distillate. And I think a lot of them also start the blending process to get everybody used to it as they go along. So first is the supplying distillate, and then they add some of theirs in the blend, and then eventually it's all theirs. We're not distillery experts in any way, shape, or form, but that's a way that they can bring everybody on board with what they're doing.
I get it, because when you're starting your own business and you're having to buy somebody else's stuff, but you have an idea of what you want to do, you don't want to shock people where you have a profile that's, say, nutty and orange like this, and all of a sudden it's caramel and butterscotch and whatever, because people have been expecting this, or at least a similar version. You know, so for me, I really enjoyed the tour. I enjoyed the place. I really recommend going there, getting a bite to eat. Even if you don't do the tour, go there and eat. Food was good. Staff was very friendly, very accommodating.
Both times.
Both times. And when we're back out there again, we will go there again for sure. And probably go there for lunch. So I like to lift my glass to Pensive, to everybody that works out there. We really enjoyed it. We look forward to coming back. If you like what we do, hit the subscribe button. Always remember to drink responsibly. Today, if you haven't, drink some Pensive. It's not expensive, it's Pensive. Cheers.
Cheers.